going to remove you from the screen a second here. Hey, Jason, what's up, man?
How you doing, Charlie?
All right. Like that background? That okay with you, man?
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Okay. Got to make sure, you may that may not be the best picture of you on the bottom. I don't want you to get upset or anything like that.
No, 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 no. It doesn't matter to me what picture you use. That's fine by
All right.
me. I'm good.
Hey, first and foremost, I'm so happy you're on the show. Um, we've been friends quite a few years, so I'm in. I mean, the best thing is that you're running. I've been wanting new candidates to run for the various seats in the city only because it's needed, and
Right,
kind of getting stagnant around here. So we need some new brains, new brainstorming, new things. So
right.
um, let's see. Well, all right. Let's give us. I know you're a good candidate, but I want you to actually tell the Really Charlie podcast and the viewers why you're a worthy candidate. Um, and just a little bio, maybe if you can.
No problem, Charlie. First and foremost, thank you for having me tonight. I appreciate you having me on. I respected you over the years as a police officer, and I know you're a great guy. Highly touted by my sister Sarah,
Yeah.
but I've known you for a while, so I really appreciate you doing this for everybody in the area, just to highlight everything. We need that in New Bedford too. We need the good stuff. We need to highlight everything that's really happening in our community. But what makes me a good candidate? Well, a couple of things jump right off the bat to me is I've been here all my life, 50 years. I've been living in New Bedford. I've been um I've been I lived in almost every ward you can think of except for 2 and 3. I grew up between the south end and the west end. Um, I know the issues. I've been here with the good. I've been here with the bad. Um, I, I I've worked in so many jobs that with the community. I've helped the community out, and I've done a lot of coaching in this community. I worked with the youth in this community. Not only that, but I worked with the seniors in this community because my grandma and grandfather were big into the senior citizen section of the city, and I got to learn a lot about that, and I got to learn a lot about the youth coming up with the coaching, and I still work at New Bedford I today as a um, school safety officer mentor. I call him more of a mentor than anything.
Hmm.
We and just with that, those facts, my candidacy, knowing what the city needs going forward, and I think I have a vision going forward, 10, 15 years. I raised my family here. I'm still raising my family here. I want what's best for my daughter and my daughters. I have an older daughter that's currently in college. So I want those kids to come back here, and I really want to foster the this city to a new level that we can have them come back here and invest in our community. And I know I hear a lot of naysayers in this city, but I really believe that if we really do going forward what we want to do with the economical part of the city and just bring in jobs that the city really needs, these kids will come back. But it's just we have to be, and I think me as a leader, I want to serve the people and bring that back to the city. It's not going to be easy, but I think with a lot of hard work, we can do it. And I know I can, when I put myself into this position and with being elected, if I get elected and win, I'm gonna roll up my sleeves and work 110% of what I got. I don't go in and I don't have step. I go in all the way and no way. And that was a big discussion with myself and my wife and my family because I'm putting myself out there. Um, that's just me. I love New Bedford. I've always loved New Bedford, And I just want to make it so that we have the best city ever and the best city in the world. I think I've never left here, so it's important for me to go forward.
That is, I I like that. Nice to hear. The Nathan Victor saying Jay is a solid guy with people skills. I agree. I agree, Nathan. Um, the one thing I learned that when I ran it was the percentages that come out, the voters that come out, the percentages are so small, and one thing that has to be done is getting those registered people to vote and cast their vote. It's very, very important. They could be registered, and we have a huge amount of people that are registered throughout our city, and but they don't cast a vote, and
Right,
that's
right,
going to be a challenge for you and all the other candidates. How are you
right.
going to work on that?
Well, I'm hoping that, because we have the pandemic, and that's going to put a kind of a damper on things too. But I'm hoping by the end of this year, we'll be in a good place with this, that we can go, and we have some good voter turnout. I think if the issues are important in this city to people, I think they're going to come out. I know we don't have a mayor's race, and I know we don't have a president race, and it's only the school committee and the city council. But I think if we, as candidates, make the issues very important going forward, and we get the voters to realize that you need to come out and we need to make it happen here, I think we can get them out. And I believe that with I believe they just actually took the absentee voted list, and they've extended it to this year. So there's still absentee voting that's going to go on, and they've extended that. So I think that helps out too with the numbers. And I know I haven't been too proud of the numbers going forward. I think I even complained about about 3 years ago in 2019, where I thought that the numbers were really low for something so important as the mayor's race. I think Mr. Moultrie ran against Mayor Mitchell, and then you had Mr. Councilor Gomes in the mix. When I saw the percentages, I was like, wow, for something that's that important and so crucial to our city to only come out with 16 to 20%, it boggles my mind. But I'm hoping that it get more people out now. Maybe the important, like with the Engine 8 and with the Tech Park and things like that. Those are important hot button issues. So I'm hoping people can get out there and vote and take that initiative.
So true. Yeah. There's a lot of contract disputes throughout the city. The lunch aides, the paras,
Right.
EMS is having their struggles. Fires always had their struggles. So the thing is, with all those struggles, sometimes what happens is a lot of what I notice is that a lot of people that are employed throughout the city, many departments, they're not our registered voters. And so now you have to have them pretty much endorse you and try to spread the words for their family and friends that are within the city that are registered voters.
Right.
And just to encourage to vote for a guy like you.
Mm-hmm.
And so just keep that in mind. You got to reach out to all of them. But
right. Good thing is I've actually sat down with the fire union already. I have a deep concern about the fire department of the lack of staff, the EMS. I have, as you know, I was a correction officer. I retired 20 years at the Bristol County Sheriff's Department. So law enforcement is a big thing with me. Fire, big thing. City safety, big thing for me. I reached out to the police union. I'm supposed to be meeting eventually with Officer Turgeon, and then of course Billy Silva from the fire department. I've already met with them, and then of course I work with the paras. I work at New Bedford. I work with those paras day in and day out. I see the job they do, and they are underpaid, and they really do a fantastic job with the kids at the high school. What I see, they do remarkable. Again, I can't stress that enough. but I do want to reach out to them. And I actually stood out again. I stood out downtown at the school department building, and I'm all for the paras in getting something that's a livable wage for them. But
Yeah.
I really want that, the union support, and I'm all about unions. I was in the Massachusetts Federal Correction Officer State Union, so I'm all about unions. I fought Tom Watson for so long for raise, so I've been in those battles, so I understand them.
Good. The the paras. The one thing I know, especially when I was within the school department, with my title on the PD, and the paras are always being utilized one way or another for almost every situation that happened within the school district or the school department rather. So they're used for quite a bit of time during the school day rather, excuse me. And for them to get that wage, I mean, I didn't realize that it was that low. And
It
when you
is.
kind of think of it, you think back of in your life, my life, when was the date or when was the year that we were actually paid that low? And when you kind of go back, you're going back decades. You're going back a long, long period of time.
Absolutely.
And I'm saying, wow, how are they making it? How are they paying for the rents that were increased throughout the city because of taxes were increased? There's so many things
Right.
that are going on.
Right.
You know, barely getting some food on the table with just their income, and then all of a sudden now everything increases.
Right.
So
Right. Groceries, gas, you name it, going up. But, unfortunately, these people haven't had that kind of raise to get them to a livable, just to live. It costs you almost $120 to go to the grocery store a week. I mean, I don't know. So I want to, I want to fight for them, and I want to see them get what they deserve. So,
yeah, some of the things that I brought up years ago, they're still in place. There's still issues. They,
right.
and
hmm
so um, it's kind of step back. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a tough question. This tough
Sure. Go
question,
ahead. I'm all
but
about tough questions.
it's very, very easy for you to answer. And
Right.
so,
Okay.
all right. So we have an election, and it's in regards to I need a disc jockey for my daughter's party. So it's going to be your dad, you, and Sarah. Who are you going to vote for?
Well, unfortunately, my dad isn't here now. He's been
Yeah,
past three
and
years. So
yes.
it comes down to me and Sarah. So I say I vote for me.
All right. Okay.
Sarah, love her to death, my sister. But now my sister's been very, great for over the years. She's a great person. And she's been in the city all her life. She knows, the ins and outs, and she's worked for the school department for now 27 years. And Sarah does a great job. Sarah does a
See
great
that?
job.
That's the type of tough questions you get on a Really Charlie podcast.
Wow, that's good.
You
That's a
know.
good question. Yes. Yeah.
So I I I know that the election. I mean, it definitely started now for you. Every moment is very crucial, and every day is definitely going to be part of your political aspirations, your political career. You got to do something every single day. So
Right.
you're gonna need some stamina. You're gonna definitely need a strong base behind you to help you out with the various things you do. Are you ready for that?
Absolutely ready for it, man. I've been retired 10 years from the sheriff's department. I don't have a daytime job. I'll be a full-time counselor, and I'm running full-time as an election wise. I came in early. I started the first of the year. where some people were telling me, oh, wait till April or May. No, I'm coming in the first of the year. I made my announcement. I was clear after talking to my family, getting the blessing. People don't know this, but about 3 years ago, I was actually going to run for school committee, and then my wife ended up coming down with breast cancer, and I had to turn and pivot. And that was the year they got a new person on the school committee, and I had to kind of back off from that because my family came first, and my daughter was only 5 at the time, so I really had to pivot and go in another direction. And of course, first and foremost is my family, so I had to give that up, and I actually stood back from that and barreled down. So this time, everything is good. I had the blessing from my wife and my family because it impacts them just as much as it impacts me running, because I know I'm opening myself out up to the to people in the public, because I want myself to be an open book. I want to be engaging. I want to be open to people. I want them to approach me, be able to talk. If we want to go down and have a coffee, after the pandemic, obviously, all with masks. I want to have them come up to me and talk to me and be able to, do what I have to do. And during this campaign, I want to be there for people. Even now, I get texts already about this issue with the Regal House Furniture Building, which is now turned into Family Child and Services up here on Church Street. I already get texts about that. I'm not even a city councilor yet. But I'll be open, and constituent services is a big thing to me. I want to serve. I want to help people out. I want to be able to get them to where they need to go. If there's a street light out or a pothole or bushes that need to be cut, I know I can't go out and do it, but I'm going to try to get them to that point and lead them in the direction and make sure I follow through and get it done for them. If I couldn't, it's because of something that was out of my control. But I'm one that will take the bull by the horns, as they say. And I'm a big thing with constituent services. My phone will always be open. My email will be always open. And I want to help the people of New Bedford. Because I know when I had that problem we lived on Clara Street, I had, I reached out to my counselor and they were there for me. So that's great. And then when they're not, I feel kind of like, why aren't they working for me? I'm paying my taxes. I know they can't do it all for me, but just answer my phone call, just listen to me, and that's all I want. And that's what I'm going to be there for the people, is to listen.
So true. I know you're going to be there definitely for them, and get familiar with the phone listings of every single department. That way you can have access to it, at all times. At this day and age, you use your cell phone, you have access to a lot of it.
Right.
And, but sometimes something could get fixed just by, a telephone call, and
right. That's all it takes.
Just trying to add your name to the screen, man. It's very important that we put your
Right.
name.
Thank you. You don't even have to put DJ next to it.
That's it. I think that's all right. I think everything's about right. It should be. One thing we talked about having that strong will, that strong desire, could have that strong commitment every single day to be out there. And even the rainy days, I remember at times, during the campaign that we were out there during the rainy days, could still strike up a conversation with something. Those small conversations go a long way.
Right.
And
yep.
So the your committee's already established because you're doing your fundraisers, right?
Yep. Yes. Yep.
And I've seen something about a fundraiser that's coming up. Can you kind of talk about that?
Sure. I'm going to do one more fundraiser, and it's going to be at the Airport Grill, Tuesday night, June 8th. It's going to be under the tent in the back. So if you are leery about COVID, and when obviously got some restrictions maybe still on, it'll be outside under the tent. So they'll be totally safe, with whatever we do. We're going to have a little entertainment with New Bedford's own Craig Mello, the whiskey poet. He's going to be there entertaining so that people can talk and socialize. And then we'll have a buffet, small buffet. Troy DeMello's been really great to me at the grill. He's working with me, and it's going to be a fabulous night. It's going to be like an old time, gathering type of mixer, so everybody can kind of relax and enjoy. And I'll say a few words, and I hope I see everybody out there. The cost is $50 for the donation, and it gets you a drink, and it gets you a buffet. And I thought that would be great to get everybody together and help my campaign cause, so I can start. I can purchase some airtime and get some stuff going for my campaign. I know it takes money to do these, so it's something that I wish I didn't have to do. I wish I could just do it without the fundraising, but it's very important to raise money and to get my platform out there and let me be heard.
So true. It got a good venue, great entertainment. Craig is Whiskey Poet is a dear friend of mine. I'd like to get him on this podcast eventually, because the dude he's a diamond
he's
in
great.
the rough, and he's a diamond in the rough. Yeah,
great singer, good guy, good singer. It was extremely honored for him to to say yes.
Yeah, I wrote all his music, but he's not giving me credit for it.
He just released a new album. A new album, so yeah. So I thought he could highlight some of those new songs on June 8th for us.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Here's another future guest on the Really Charlie podcast. Devin Burns says, "Good to hear. We need responsible counselors. Many take their position for granted." So true. So true.
Yeah. Thanks, Devin. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I want to be responsible. I'm not career. It's not my career, but I want to get back. And I feel like I almost feel like this is not going to be something I'm going to be nesting in there for, the next 20 years. I'll take it year by year. 2 years by 2 years, actually, because it's a 2-year position. But I want to be responsible to the voters. I want to, if you want to talk to me or something, you want to call me up, please take me aside. I love it. I want to go have, sit down and talk to you, because I really believe the people need a voice in the government, and I will be their voice. I have, no problems with, if I'm thinking wrong, I want to turn and go another direction, and if people kind of straighten me out, I understand that. It's not all about me. It's all about the city of New Bedford and where we live.
So true. Kevin Perry, he says, "I wish you luck, but understand people are going to love you and people are going to dislike you. Just make sure you wear blinders towards failure cause, and ultimate goal is to be one of the great ones for New Beach." Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I have thick skin. Skin. Working all these years. I work, like I said, I worked in the sheriff's department. I worked for a boss that was tough, and of course, people have and this is not about him, but I've had tough skin, and I think I've developed that, and I understand. But I understand the people in New Bedford, because I'm one of them. I'm a person that's been here. I grew up off of Dartmouth Street, New Bedford, and then my aunt and uncle used to live in Parkdale housing development. I grew up a lot around like Keith and Potter, and so I've been in the places where people have strong voices, and I've heard a lot of the old timers. I understand it, and I want to make it better. And I like I said, I've been here all my life. I grew up. I cruised the Ave. I cruised the Peach. I've done everything that a New Bedford person can do. And I, that itself means I'm a person that's like grown up here in the community, and that's important. I'm not an outsider looking in. I've always been here. So
yeah, and that's it's good to hear. David Gonzalez says, "Jay, how do you feel about the closures of the fire stations?"
Dave, I'm totally against it. Of course, my grandfather being a firefighter for 33 years in the city on Station 6. I'm totally against any closures. Public safety is first and foremost. If we want to attract any kind of business here, or if we want to make our, especially in that district where you have Ward 2, and it's a very congested area, you can't have an engine closed that's that important to the city, especially when you have the rash of fires that we've had. I'm not, I wouldn't be happy with that. And then your insurances will go up if they decommission Engine 8. Your insurances go up. There may even be fire stations that, I mean, if that closes, there may even be people that can't get insured in that area. So that's important too. I mean, you can't have landlords that can't insure their properties because their ISO went up to like 2. We need to keep that down. We need to keep that station open so we can save lives, because every minute that, Dave, that could be worth somebody's life, and we can't put a dollar sign on somebody's life. There's no way. I would never vote for decommissioning that station.
Yeah, so true. It one thing about fire is it's people don't realize that and maybe they do, but I'm gonna assume that they don't. That they're going to call, just like the EMS. New Bedford EMS. Those men and women are constantly out and about.
Right.
The sit down time is very rare, and even just because you see them in a building doesn't mean they're not doing something. They're always doing
Right.
something, and
Always doing something.
yeah, and they're the data speaks for itself, and the calls are tremendous. Calls are tremendous for New Bedford Fire, along with the EMS. So where you see
Right.
EMS, you're definitely going to see fire. They go hand in hand. You're going to
Right.
see police. So hopefully we can straighten that stuff out.
I
David
hope so.
Gonchal says, yeah. David Gonchal says, thanks, Jay. I know that I can count on you, good brother. See, that's
Thanks,
good to
Dave.
hear for you.
Appreciate it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate it. Yeah, EMS is so important in the city. Of course, I ride along in the city a lot. I take rides. I'm always in my car driving if I'm not working, especially before I came to the high school, which if I am elected by the people, I have to quit high school. I can't do both. I myself think it'd be a conflict of interest. Even though I know the high school would hate to see me go, because we've done so much there, and we've got some great stuff going on there. I would drive around the city, talk to EMS, while they're not. I'd see what the trouble is with them. I want to see what's going on, and what they need and what they don't need. And I know those gentlemen and ladies work hard every day. I see them going to calls all the time, and then I hear just from the mutual aid that's being called in the city. They're busy all the time. I don't think they ever stop. They probably have an 8-hour shift and never stop. And again, they're a vital part of this community, and they're literally putting their lives on the line for us every day. Even during the pandemic, you see them out there, and that's great, and it's incredible. And I really thank them a lot. We've used a few times. My wife had to go by ambulance. My father, when he was very sick, they were always there for my father, taking him to the hospital, and they were there prompt. So EMS is a big part of this city. And I believe we need more ambulances. For how many people we have, there's only like 3 ambulances on at a time. For the amount of people we have and amount of calls, there should be a lot more ambulances there are. And that comes down to a budgeting thing. We should do a lot better job with the budgeting so we can have the proper amount of ambulances we need in the city. It's
So
just just comes down to money, but we need to think public safety first, and then everything will fall in line after that.
good. Um, Jason, make sure you share this live feed right now on your Facebook page. Go on my page, share it. That way we can get a great audience, a bigger audience,
Well, let's
um,
see.
and get that message out there.
Okay,
Sometimes
I'll get you up right here. I got my thing right here. Hold on.
sometimes the guests don't share it, and we're missing some opportunity for your friends and family to get involved in this conversation.
Right. No, it's funny because I'm good at the social media thing, but sometimes I'm not so good. I forget about things like this.
Yeah, use it. Retro, um, retro ways of getting a message out are very, very important. Very, and if you know what you're doing, the you can reach thousands of people. And
Right,
I'm
right.
amazed that I'm amazed just as how much people I reach just on this podcast.
Hmm.
And it's so I'm trying to tell everyone that utilize this podcast as much as you can. I always, I work during the day, even though I retired, I'm still working. However, at night it's a different story. I could still get things out there, still get messages out there.
Right.
Um, and I open it to all candidates, and especially opening it to you that want to get something out there. Guess what? Just come on board, and we could do a kind of like I call a flash podcast, where it's all of a sudden, we got to get something out there. I'm just trying to do that. So
No, I appreciate that. That's great. I mean, that gives us, the candidates a platform, which is great. And you need to get it out there. You need to get out to the people because you don't know what I'm thinking if I'm just sitting in my living room and just watching TV. You gotta know what the candidates are thinking and make the best
yeah,
choice when it comes to November.
so true. And it's gonna go up till that day, right up to the election day. You're gonna always have something to do, something,
Right.
uh, some other person to convince.
Right.
But one thing I did is get that link on mass.gov so people can register, electronically.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and not everybody's kind of into that, but
Mhm.
you never know. You may be with an elderly person that trusts you, but just don't know how to do it. And maybe you can do it yourself right on your phone and get them registered and say, hey, uh, Mrs. Souza, you're registered now. Look, you're registered. And that goes a long way just by doing that little thing for them. So
It does. No, it's great. Yep. As we get closer, I'm gonna, start really, getting people. We're gonna get people registered. If you're not registered, we can send you a link to get registered so that we can, you can vote. It's your voice. This is what makes America what it is. People vote and cast in the political the political spectrum and get your candidate in that you like. Which I want to get my people out there, the people that are endorsing me. I want to get them out to vote, just like you said earlier. And I respect you, Charlie, because when you ran for your office back then, it almost like when I was thinking about running this time and then for school committee the first time, I really think guys like you and me, I'm not really a quote unquote politician. We're just a common guy. So it
yeah,
really gave me a lot of you and Derek Baptiste, which Councilor Baptiste, another good friend of mine. Seeing him like that do what he did in Ward 4 gives me my hope and like, wow, man, if Derek can do it, I can do it. I really looked
so
up
true.
to Silk and what he did, and it gave me some encouragement. Absolutely, I told him that too a while back. I said, Silk, what you did gave me my wings and I really wanted to do this, and that helped me out a tremendous lot.
Yeah, he's working every day, and
That's a great job. That's a great
yeah,
job.
he's
Yep.
great. He's a good person to form alliance with. Well, you should form alliance with everybody in the city council,
Right.
but just stay
Yeah.
strong with your voice. There may be two or three um little men or ladies that your constituents that say, hey, I need this passed. I really need this passed. And you may support them, and then some people within your city council chambers may not agree to it, but you got to stay strong, stay firm.
Right.
Constituents matter.
You gotta stay in your beliefs too. And whatever you believe is right, and your moral beliefs, and of course your constituents. You are their voice. You gotta understand that people that run for office gotta understand you work for the people. You don't work for anybody else. just like this, and I'm going to make mention of this parallel products. They want to build the parallel product plan up here, which is like kind of expanding that. And then I went on the other night, and we went on with the group, and I was really opened up to some education about what they're going to do and it's going to go down, and that is an eye opener up there. I didn't understand what the parameters of that plant going up there with 9 stacks being built and toxic sludge coming through our neighborhoods. It's an overwhelming majority here don't want it, and I'm with the people, and I didn't want it as a neighbor. I was kind of actually I'll tell you the truth. A couple of years ago when I heard it, I wasn't like up in the air because I heard about was bringing money into the city, but after hearing what's going on, and then I did some research on YouTube, went on and looked into parallel products, and I was like, wow, that's not what we want for the city. We've got enough in this city without bringing that kind of that kind of like traffic on our roads and in the air smell. I mean, it's right on the edge of the industrial park, so you got a lot of people that live right in it. It's right in their backyard. They live close to that, and then it brings rodents. You're going to bring tons of trash. The sewage that goes into our sewage system is going to go right down through the city, so it's going to affect everybody in the city, not just the people up here in Ward 1. It's going to affect everybody, and it's not for New Bedford. They need to relocate that somewhere else, and I'm firmly against that parallel products building up here, just to go on the record for that. And that's something that some people may want it in government, but I'm not. The people don't want it, and that's what I'm standing with the people in my neighborhood, and the people in New Bedford who don't want it.
Great, that's great news, great input, and very, very essential to the people in that ward, along with the people in the city. Really, some of these things get passed and get, without the majority of the people in the city getting to know and getting that knowledge out there, and as long as you keep making your voice heard about parallel products, it's very, very important, especially
Right.
now that you're going to have a forum, you're going to have a
Right.
platform, you're going to have the voice where a lot of
Right.
people listen to you, newspaper, radio, um, social
Right.
media,
Right.
podcasts. So, you know,
Yeah. I actually want to make one more thing apparent to people, that I think this, and I moved it up on my list because it was there on the the things that I really want to talk about. But transparency in the city seems to be lacking. Years ago, we had some great transparency in this city. I think to a point we were good, and now it's gotten really bad recently. I really think the city of New Bedford needs to have more transparency with its people, and in certain areas. And of course,
yeah,
that incident with with the PD, with Brookwood, and then that incident the other day on Rockdale Avenue and Allen Street. There needs to be more transparency. We're not saying that you have to go on and tell us details about what's going on, because of course there's an investigation. We know that has to be forthcoming, and of course you don't want to know, but we need to make the people safe. We need to come out. Every other city has a press conference, couple hours after, 3 hours after, to inform the neighborhood. As a city council, I'm going to want to demand that we're going to have something up front to tell the people that they're safe, that they can continue with their life, and there's no danger to the public. You just vanilla. Got to be transparent. We need to tell what's going on to our residents, but the transparency is not there. It hasn't been there from the last year or so, and we really got to start getting back to that. And as a
yeah,
city council, I'm going to demand that.
yeah, it should. There's a lot of different things that need to happen, but see, you're paying attention. You're paying attention to what happened in the past, what's visible in the present, and now you have you can have an opportunity to fix those things. Um,
Right.
and sometimes the so-called old heads in the city council are just going to kind of go through the routine, and when you have new voices, new people that are going to say, no, we're not going to. And you are a type of person, in my opinion, that you can stand alone and get the message out. And standing alone, you got to fight alone. You got to do it. Just stand it. But you're in a great position with the microphone and cameras in front of you to get those messages out. So,
Right. Yeah.
good luck with that.
Thank you. No, I know that's, part of the job, and I really want to make sure that my voice is heard, and that I won't back down, because again, I don't look at this as a career for me. I look at this as I'm working for the people, and people that use this as a career worry about year to year getting elected. I'm not worried about it. I'm here. I'm an open book. Again, I want to make sure that we have all this money coming in from the federal government, from the CARES Act that's coming in, from the stimulus. There's $59 million coming into the city. I want to make sure that it's spent right and spent in the right direction. But we also want to tighten our budget. There's a few things in the city we can tighten up to go forward and use that money to save Station 8. I brought, and it's on my website, which I'm going to plug it now, Charlie, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, of course.
You can look at my platform at www.jasonmello2021.com. You'll see my platform. You'll see a bio about me, all my information, my contact information. All of it's on that website. And also I have my Twitter, I have Instagram, and I have Facebook, all for the new committee to elect Jason Mello, Councilor At-Large. So you can go on any of those platforms and see me. Actually, you can click on a link on my website and do that. You can go from one to the other. But I believe, to get to where we got to be, we can tighten our belts in New Bedford. It's not all about putting it on the taxpayers. It's not always about charging fees to, say, the fishing fleet, putting fees on our boaters, making it a renter fee for the renters in the city, because I heard that as a proposition, going to charge a rental fee for anybody who's renting the city. What we got to do is start tightening our belts and looking inside of the city. And one of the things I brought up, and it's on my website, was how about we privatize the zoo? Put that back on the table. About 8 or 9 years ago, that was kind of brought up. We want those jobs. Don't get me wrong. We want to keep those 27 jobs over there at the zoo. And we want to make it, it's a jewel of our community. We really want to make it. But that's a lot of care for those animals. Those are rescued animals over at the zoo. They require a lot of veterinarian care. That's a lot of money to put on the back of a city who's had some financial issues. We did with the garbage. We did with the central garage. We need to put that back on the table. Maybe look that way.
So true. As we, 1 second, just trying to copy your website here so I can put it on for the viewers.
Right.
Jason Mello 4MB 2021.com. So I like that strategy. I like your ideas. It's really make sure this is right, Jason. If you could see it,
is this going to scroll by, Charlie?
Yeah, I'm gonna let it scroll. I got it in the comments, but I'm gonna have it scroll by too, which is very, very important.
Right.
Kind of.
Right.
I'm gonna.
Yep, that's right. You got it.
Well,
that's correct.
All right.
It flashed up quick, but I saw it.
All right, I'm gonna change that. Put that on a banner right now, so it can scroll down there. Your famous name, Jason Mello.
Infamous. Oh, that's so.
So how many people are running? I mean, it only matters that you're running, but is there a lot on the table?
I saw, I obviously Lisa White, I've seen her. She's been very vocal. I've seen her that she's going to run, and she's got a open campaign finance committee. Also, Tyler Moultrie was said he's going to run. So that's two people right there. Scott Pemberton said that he was going to run. I see him with his Facebook page up. I've seen Mr. Pemberton, so that's three. Also, another gentleman that I'm not too familiar with. I don't really know who he is, but is it Perrier? Is it Matt Perrier? I believe I'm sorry if I'm not getting his name right. But I actually confused him with the gentleman who's run Ward 6, the Pereira. Mr. Pereira there in Red. Say I get them confused a little bit on the last names. I'm trying to concentrate on me, not on them.
And that, in fact, let's do that. I'm sorry, Jason. I put that question.
Oh, it's all right.
And,
no, that's fine. I don't mind. More the merrier. I'm just gonna run my own race, and I'm gonna concentrate on issues. And the last thing people want is negative anything in this city. I don't want to run a negative campaign. I don't have it in me. I'm not going to, and I want to run my own race and give my own ideas out. Everybody else can do their thing, but Jason Mello will stick to the issues and be his own man, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, we did quite a bit of stuff, and let me see. What's the story with I'll get back to that. Let me think about that right now. I want to think about that question right now.
That's all right.
What triggered your ambition to run this time? You already mentioned some things, but was there a certain situation, a certain thing? Because I know that's what happened with me, and so was there a certain incident or maybe decision that triggered it?
No, actually, it wasn't, Charlie. I just have a thirst to run and help my city, and to really be involved in local government. There wasn't one issue that made me, that would stand out for me to run. But I want to be involved, and I think my time is now. Of the age where I'm young. I have ideas, and I want to help my community. And it wasn't any one thing that triggered me to run. But again, it's just all about the love for New Bedford. It really is. And in essence, I just want to make my city better. And I thought, what a great time to do it. Now that I have the time, and I can be a full-time councilor. So that's my my answer to that.
So true. Reggie Victor says, "Good luck, my fellow DJ. Big Daddy will support you."
Reggie, my boy. I love Reggie, man. Yeah.
He's good dude. Good dude to always support me on every podcast. And
right. Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
Goes a long way with me.
I remember going down the social club and hanging with them, all of them. Brian Mag and Franny Haddix. That was that's where my community lies, is going, being all these years down at the social and going to different functions, doing my old school nights. I'm a DJ, and I've been a DJ probably longer than I've been I've been a teenager, but forever. And it's brought me closer to a lot of people in the city. I've done a lot of people's weddings, sweet 16s, anniversaries. So I've met a lot of people over the time just with my being a professional DJ. And people like Reggie, you meet, and he's a great guy, man. We hit it off right away. And we joke with each other, about sports. We all joke about sports, about each other.
Yeah.
Because I'm big into basketball and football, but it's fun. It's fun, and that's where we're all. It's the brotherhood. We get in there and we have a good time with it. So it's fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Deanna Ruda says, "I like your politics. You got this." See.
Thank you, Dion. Good. I appreciate that. Yeah. I want to You know, like I said, anything I make with a political move is for the people. It's not for me. It's not for anybody else. It's for the people. And I appreciate people like Dion and recognizing that.
All right. Something I have talked about over the years, and something that's really one of my pet peeves is parking, parking,
Hmm.
parking violations. Um,
Right.
and I'm going to mention this to a couple of other candidates that come on.
Hmm.
How can you straighten that out? Because I'll just kind of go on my street. I have quite a few houses here, very very narrow street. Driveways are pretty much on the east side of the street,
Hmm.
but the west side doesn't have driveways. And in some cases, they're multi-dwelling houses.
Right. Right.
So as a former police officer, I definitely know what the violations are or could be, and if everyone on this block, I'll say 2 blocks from everyone on these 2 blocks, um, if they try to get on the street, they couldn't. But if there's initial complaint of one violation, um, uh, it's to me it's just something that it shouldn't happen. Because you can't park anywhere. If you have a city block or city lot issued to a house, and that house
Right.
is three families, okay, and now the curbing on the street is probably approximately outside that house from 13 feet,
Hmm.
and then maybe another 13 to 20 feet on the other side. The cars are cover all that space. One or two cars cover all that space.
Right.
You know,
Right.
there's 20 feet from a curb, there's 5 feet from a driveway. So if you have a curb or an intersection, and then you have a driveway for that first home, so you can't park 5 feet from the driveway and 20 feet from the curb. There's
Makes
not going to
parking.
be any
Right.
space. You can't even fit a Volkswagen in that spot that you
Right.
have left.
Right.
So the aggressive violations, the aggressive issuing of those violations,
Hmm.
to me, it's kind of hypocritical. And I just hope
Hmm.
that you can review it at some point. And
I've already reviewed that, Charlie. Actually, because I used to live in a three-family for many years down in the south end, off Jenkins Street, and I also lived in another one on Arlington Street, the north end, and they're very tight spaces. I understand that a lot of people, triple, sometimes it's not only you that has a car, but your son may have a car or your daughter may have a car. I'm dead set against having the meeting maids run around the city tagging cars for that. I think they need to stay in their lane, stay downtown, make sure the meters are done properly. Because I actually just got a ticket the other day when I was downtown for a violation where I didn't even see the sign; it was way up. But in regards to the parking issues like that, if there's an issue that if somebody's into the intersection park, then you know what, you need to call the police. They want to go by there, make sure hey, if it's really a tough violation, okay, it's you can't block an intersection. But I really think that the city needs to. There's some pockets here and there that we need to maybe able to see if we can actually acquire, maybe get some more areas where we can park, like a little parking lot. And I know it stinks in the summertime. I mean, actually in the wintertime, because you're going to have to walk a couple blocks. And I know it's tough, but it's an ongoing problem. This city will have that problem probably when I go. when
yeah,
when it's my time is up. It'll always be an issue down there. But I think to give people more heartache by putting more violation, having people going around and ticketing cars for the smallest thing. I've actually seen people with like it really like they could have taken out a tape measure and they were like a foot over and they gave them a ticket for it. I mean, you really can't. It's hard to do that to somebody who's working 9 to 5, who's busting their chops to make a living and survive, and then you're going to put a ticket on them for over a foot. That's not what I call good. It's not good for it's not good for somebody's mindset, because now it makes them angry, and we need to figure out a way to get around it. But I think we need to. There's a solution here and there, but unfortunately, that has to be worked out some way. And I think maybe acquiring different like we have pocket pots in the city that are being used for other things other than what they're supposed to. Maybe we have to turn those into a couple of parking spots for the city. Some numbered spots for citizens that use it from housing. We could try something like that. So that's my answer to that, Charlie.
Okay, good answer. Um, Facebook user here, I can't see the name. They didn't display the name, but it said Jason Mello is a true professional, always conducts himself gracefully with discipline and respect, a leader that will lead even when it's not easy. He will be an advocate for businesses and constituents,
Wow.
which is
Thank you.
a great compliment.
I appreciate that. It
Yeah.
really do.
And,
It actually makes me get a little warm inside because it does. Makes me want to get warm inside. I really respect that. Thank you very much, whoever put that out there. I appreciate that.
yeah, it's you'll be able to see that later when you view your profile, and you'll be able to see the names on the screen in the comment section. It's just that we're this live feed, if they don't display their name. So
Right.
the
Right.
one of the things I could think of is that I want to suggest to you that every day is a business day.
Mm-hmm.
And as you get the good, the bad, and ugly, the very next day is another business day.
Mm-hmm.
Another day for Councilor Mello to be out there, and you may get some people that are were good to you, and then all of a sudden this day they're going to be bad or angry. Just treat it as a business day, similar to what you
Right.
did in your career. Every day is different. You have a bad day, they have a bad day,
Right.
and I always say,
Yeah.
feel free to call me. Tomorrow is another day, man.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, it's life, and well, like I said, in my other career, I had some really bad days, but I always gave everybody the respect that they deserved and treat them like a human being, because that's what how you want to be treated is the way they want to be treated, and I took that in my 20 years at the at the House of Correction, and I always treat everybody with respect, and I got it back, and I was and that's why my sign says honesty, integrity, and common sense. And I live by those words. There's no doubt about it. That's how I treated people when I in my other career, and I'll do it now that I'm that I would be in office. That's how I would do it. That honesty, loyalty, and respect.
Good. Um, Great sign. Got those New Bedford colors, red and white.
Right.
Look at that.
Right.
You know what? You and I think alike a little bit, because that's the way my sign would have been, red and white.
Yeah.
It's,
I won't. Naomi Connie has red and white, and Naomi's a good friend of mine because I worked with her at the sheriff's department. We were co-workers for many, many years. I actually am good friends with her brother, Clyde. Clyde's my go-to, all what I need to build. And I wanted not to copy, Councilor Connie's sign because she's red and white. So I put the black in there so I wouldn't copy her sign directly, because I like to to make sure that I'm not. I want to stay in my lane.
right.
So
We gotta get your name out there, and
I appreciate
sometimes
that, Charlie. I really
colors
do.
colors are very important, but we got to
Right.
make sure that people see the name,
Right.
and but I know how you're going to do things, so they may not hear about you today, but
You hear
tomorrow they're
about me
going to hear
tomorrow.
about you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll be on, I'll be on the local scene, especially as all the restrictions are loosening up, Charlie. As this pandemic goes, I'm going to be walking the neighborhoods. I'm going to stay 6 feet apart with my mask. I'm going to talk to people. Hopefully we can get some parades in the city. Hopefully, I'm hoping we get one or two. I'll be there working around, walking around, talking to people, and that's what I am. I'm a social person. I want to talk, and I know people like you to get my name out there. That's what I'm looking for, and I'm hoping that everybody, will support me. And I want one of your votes come November 2nd, not that far away. November 2nd. And I'm not sure if we're going to have a primary. I guess we don't have 9 people yet, but I guess if there will be a primary September 28th, if we go over that 10 mark, I believe. But if we don't, it'll be November 2nd.
People will come out each month before that deadline of your paperwork being officially,
right,
approved. But so the numbers will change.
Right.
And
right.
I honestly, my opinion is that you're gonna have that primary. The let's see. My brother says, "Really, Charlie? You asked a DJ about changing parking rules. Of course, he wants to agree. Ask him if he could DJ." Can DJ birthday for free in November? Yeah, he's got it. You know what? That's my brother. He's on the comment section doing his thing.
Yeah,
and
no.
I try to get him on here. But he wanted to spend some money in the casino. He could have been on a Really Charlie podcast, but
okay. Oh, hey. DJing for free. I don't know. Pandemic has really put a kink in my business. I'm surviving, man. But no, again, I appreciate brothers' comments too. Everybody's comments are appreciated.
So true. Jason.
Yeah.
Jason Mello, yes. Councilor At-Large for the City of New Bedford. Honesty, integrity, common sense. Feel free to comment down on the sections. Any questions you have for the candidate, and I know he will get back to you. Let me put the website back up here on the screen so people know.
Yes, sir.
And this is the Really Charlie podcast here on StreamYard, Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook. Feel free. Please subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and check out the videos. But Jason, I want you to do a couple of things. One, I want you to give your ending message. But the first thing I want to ask you, and I ask all my guests this: if you wanted a guest on a Really Charlie podcast, who would it be? 1 or 2 people, whoever it may be. Who should I reach out to get on this Really Charlie podcast?
Actually, let's see. Well, it would be good to get Derek on. So be on. Has he been on at all before?
We reached out, we talked back and forth, and so that's definitely going to happen.
Good.
And he's also going to have his own podcast, so that's going to be interesting too. It's going to be called Yo Listen.
That's right. I saw that advertised.
Yeah,
right.
WMB1 Radio. So that's going to be interesting and funny, without a doubt.
That's going to be
very, very funny.
Yeah.
So Derek Baptiste, that's in the works.
Derek Baptiste.
I'll wait until after the election, and I'm going to get Sarah on here so we can share some your family stories. And I don't want to hurt your campaign or anything having Sarah on it.
Please don't.
That girl is, I'm only joking, everyone. I'm only joking. Sarah's a good person, would never jeopardize her brother's campaign. She's very, very funny.
No. We have fun together.
She should have her own sitcom. That girl is she's hilarious,
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So I just want to have, a closing message come from you in your own words, so the city of New Bedford can definitely know who they're dealing with.
Well, thank you again, Charlie, for having me on tonight. Really appreciate it. This is my first one, so you know we've kind of broken the mold here. So I really appreciate it. You can expect from me, the city of New Bedford, as a guy that's going to give you an honest answer. I'm going to bring it every day. I'm going to work 110%. I just want to make sure that that everybody in this city is welcomed here. We're a diverse community. We're a melting pot. And I really want to see our youth shine, and I want to see our seniors taken care of, and I want our public safety to be paramount, and we want to be able to protect, what's ours in the city, and not business as usual. Let's think outside the box. Let's get our business in order and our house in order and go forward. And I'm asking the citizens of New Bedford to vote for me November 2nd. I just need one of your votes, and we're going to make this happen. And I feel like I'm going to shock the world. I'm first time running for a political office. They say I'm the underdog here, and I've never run, but I'm going to shock New Bedford, and I'm going to make this happen, and I'm going to be a city councilor come 2022.
Good.
Thank you again, Charlie.
Great message. Kevin Perry said you're retiring if you win. So in November, after my vote helps you retire. So of course it's a free cause. You will be a counselor I got faith in.
So thank you. Well,
faith in you. Go ahead.
I appreciate that, Kevin. I've already retired, but unfortunately, when I work in the school, again, I believe it's going to be a conflict of interest. Plus, with my retirement, I can only make so much. So I would probably almost have to give back some of my pay. I believe I'm going to have to give back. And again, I would definitely retire and just do the city council full time.
Good. Yeah. Keep looking into that. There's you're not the first city, state, or county worker that's ran into politics. Just review that. Keep looking into it. You may not have to hurt yourself, financially.
Right.
So,
yeah, I'll look into that. Yeah. So,
and well, I already expected a good show, a good podcast with you being on it, and I'm very happy to have this time with you. The video will be always available for you on YouTube. I'll put that on my channel, Anchor and Spotify.
Right.
I'll always have it. You can use it as much as you have to.
Yep. Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Jason Mello, good luck in the race. And you ever need me or the Really Charlie podcast, you get in touch with me and we'll make it happen.
Absolutely, Charlie. Even now and when I get elected, I'll make sure I come on here, and give you whatever I have and, answer questions and everything. I'll be open to coming back on the show as much as you want. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And, Charlie, we'll probably see each other hopefully in this coming in the next few months.
Thank you, man. God bless.
Thank you very much, Charlie.
All right.
Have a good night. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Man. Bye-bye.
Bye. Great candidate, quality candidate, Jason Mello, running for Councilor At-Large in the city of New Bedford, Massachusetts. He's already campaigning, doing the right thing, doing all he has to. He's already inquiring with his constituents in various areas of the city, so he can represent them as best as possible. Stay tuned. Throughout this week, we have some other candidates coming on, and we also have some other guests that are not political candidates. So I'm keeping it busy. I'm staying busy on the Really Charlie podcast, just so I can bring some news to you, where we can really say what we want on the Really Charlie podcast. God bless. Mask those beautiful faces. Hand sanitize and wash your hands. Stay safe, everyone. Have a good night.